There was a time when uncertainty made you lean forward instead of step back. When someone's hesitation triggered effort rather than reflection. When distance made you chase clarity rather than question alignment. And when silence felt like something you had to repair rather than observe. Chasing rarely feels like chasing in the moment. It feels like caring. It feels like commitment. It feels like emotional courage, like refusing to give up on something that could become meaningful if you just tried a little harder. But effort becomes pursuit when it is not reciprocated. When communication becomes one-sided, when reassurance becomes something you initiate repeatedly, when momentum depends on your initiative alone, you slowly begin carrying a dynamic that was meant to be shared. And carrying something that requires two people always leads to imbalance. In the past, you believed that consistency from your side would inspire consistency from theirs. You believed that if you demonstrated stability clearly enough, they would eventually match it. And you believed that persistence was proof of depth rather than proof of imbalance. What you did not realize at the time was that genuine interest does not need to be convinced. Genuine alignment does not require pursuit. And genuine choice does not hesitate when given space. You no longer chase what's meant to choose you because you understand something now that you didn't before. Attraction can exist without commitment. Chemistry can exist without consistency. And attention can exist without intention. Those distinctions matter. They separate intensity from investment. They separate curiosity from commitment. And they prevent you from mistaking potential for promise. There was a version of you that interpreted silence as a puzzle to solve. You analyzed tone, response timing, word choice, subtle shifts in energy, and you tried to decode meaning before asking whether decoding was even necessary. That analysis did not make you perceptive, it made you overextended. Now when someone withdraws, you do not rush forward. You allow distance to speak for itself. You watch whether effort returns naturally or whether the gap widens without resistance. That observation gives you clarity faster than pursuit ever did. Because when someone wants to choose you, they do not require prompting. When someone values connection, they do not need to be reminded. And when someone is aligned, they move toward you without negotiation. Chasing disrupts balance. It shifts momentum into your hands and removes accountability from theirs. It creates a dynamic where your effort compensates for their hesitation, and over time, that compensation becomes expectation. Expectation leads to exhaustion. Exhaustion leads to resentment. And resentment often begins where reciprocity was missing from the start. You learned that lesson slowly. You felt it in conversations where you initiated more than you received. You felt it in plans that required your organization. You felt it in emotional reassurance that flowed primarily in one direction. You are no longer interested in sustaining something that requires you to maintain it alone. Not because you are indifferent, but because you understand that mutual effort feels different from unilateral persistence. Mutual effort feels calm. It feels predictable. It feels like forward movement without strain. When you stop chasing, something interesting happens. You become observant instead of urgent. You become selective instead of persuasive. You become steady instead of reactive. Steadiness changes power dynamics quietly. It reveals who is genuinely invested and who relied on your momentum to keep things alive. And that revelation often arrives without confrontation. You do not need to withdraw dramatically. You simply stop leaning forward. You stop over-initiating. You stop filling silence. And when you do, patterns surface quickly. Those who were unsure remain unsure. Those who were interested step forward. Those who relied on your pursuit fade without resistance. That sorting process can feel uncomfortable at first. There is a vulnerability in letting effort equalize. There is uncertainty in allowing someone else to initiate. And there is fear in not controlling momentum. But control disguised as pursuit is still control. And healthy connection does not require it. You no longer chase what's meant to choose you because you have experienced the cost of imbalance. You know what it feels like to overinvest. You know what it feels like to question your worth because someone else hesitated. And you know how long it takes to rebuild self-trust after that confusion. Self-trust is quieter now. It tells you that interest reveals itself without persuasion. It tells you that consistency does not need reminders. And it tells you that clarity does not require interrogation. There is relief in stepping back. Relief in knowing that if something collapses without your effort, it was never stable to begin with. Relief in understanding that your role is to show up, not to convince. You are not less romantic. You are less anxious. You are not less invested. You are more discerning. Discernment feels slower but stronger. It allows you to evaluate alignment rather than chase validation. It encourages you to notice reciprocity rather than manufacture momentum. You may still feel the old impulse occasionally. The urge to send one more message. The temptation to clarify one more time. The desire to close the gap before it widens. But now you pause. You ask whether that action creates balance or maintains imbalance. And that question alone changes your behavior. Chasing once felt proactive. Now it feels unnecessary. Because you understand that what is meant to choose you does not require pursuit to remain. Hope lives inside that restraint. It lives in trusting that mutual effort exists. It lives in believing that stability feels calmer than intensity. And it lives in knowing that your value does not increase through pursuit. You no longer chase because you finally understand that alignment moves toward you as much as you move toward it. And when movement is mutual, there is no need to run. Here was a season in your life when effort felt like love. When being the one who reached out first, followed up consistently, clarified tone carefully, and reassured often made you feel responsible and emotionally mature. You believed that initiative signaled strength, and that if something mattered to you, it was your job to keep it alive. But over time you began noticing something subtle. The energy rarely flowed back in equal measure. You began remembering how often you sent the first message after tension. How frequently you reopened conversations that quietly faded. How many times you reassured someone who had not yet reassured you. And that pattern did not feel romantic anymore, it felt uneven. Uneven effort creates psychological imbalance long before it creates visible conflict. It shifts momentum to one side. It builds attachment faster for one person than the other. And it conditions you to work harder for something that should move naturally. The nervous system recognizes imbalance even when the mind defends it. You may have told yourself they were busy, overwhelmed, distracted, or uncertain. But your body felt the difference between reciprocity and hesitation. And hesitation interpreted as potential slowly becomes emotional debt. Chasing does not just create exhaustion, it creates distortion. It distorts perception because you begin interpreting minimal effort as meaningful progress. It distorts standards because you lower expectations just to preserve momentum. And it distorts self-worth because you start believing that more effort from you equals more value in their eyes. Now when momentum feels one-sided, you do not accelerate. You decelerate. You allow space to reveal intention instead of trying to manufacture clarity. That deceleration feels uncomfortable at first because you are surrendering control. You are allowing the dynamic to breathe without interference. You are giving the other person the opportunity to choose, or not choose, without your influence. And choice without influence reveals truth faster than persuasion ever could. If someone wants to build with you, they step forward without prompting. If someone values you, they initiate without pressure. If someone is aligned, they do not require chasing to remain engaged. There is power in that understanding. It removes urgency from your behavior. It removes desperation from your tone. And it removes the illusion that pursuit increases value. In the past, pursuit felt noble. It felt persistent. It felt like refusing to give up on something meaningful. Now you see that what is meaningful does not need to be chased. It needs to be met. It needs to be mirrored. It needs to be mutual. Mutual energy feels different in the body. It feels steady instead of anxious. It feels expanding instead of contracting. And it does not require constant reassurance to maintain. You are not withdrawing from connection. You are withdrawing from imbalance. You are not playing games. You are restoring symmetry. Symmetry restores dignity. It restores clarity. And it restores self-respect. There was also fear in the old pattern, fear that if you did not act, you would lose something important. Fear that silence meant abandonment. Fear that stillness meant rejection. But stillness is not rejection. It is information. And information is power when you are willing to receive it. When you stopped chasing, you discovered something else. You discovered that some dynamics disappeared entirely without your effort. You discovered that some interest was sustained only by your momentum. And you discovered that real alignment does not collapse in silence. That discovery was sobering but freeing. Sobering because it revealed imbalance clearly. Freeing because it removed illusion. Illusion often feels safer than truth. But truth builds stability. You no longer chase because you no longer confuse uncertainty with mystery. You no longer romanticize hesitation as depth. And you no longer interpret mixed signals as complexity. Complexity is not the same as compatibility. Intensity is not the same as investment. And attraction is not the same as commitment. You understand now that effort must feel natural on both sides. That initiation should not be strategic. That communication should not require negotiation. You also recognize how much calmer you feel when energy is mutual. There is no analysis cycle. No replaying conversations. No questioning whether you are too much or not enough. That calm is the metric now. If connection disrupts your peace early, you notice. If it requires constant adjustment, you question. If it demands pursuit, you step back. Stepping back is not surrender. It is self-protection informed by experience. It is refusing to invest where reciprocity is uncertain. You no longer chase what's meant to choose you because you finally understand something essential. What is meant to align will move toward you without coercion. What is meant to build will initiate without persuasion. And what is meant to last will not require you to run. That realization changes your posture. You move slower. You observe longer. You respond rather than pursue. And in that steadiness, something stabilizes permanently. You are no longer trying to secure connection through effort. You are allowing connection to reveal itself through action. That shift may reduce your options, but it increases your alignment. It may narrow your field, but it strengthens your foundation. Hope expands here. It expands because you are no longer exhausting yourself proving devotion. It expands because you trust mutuality exists. And it expands because you understand that being chosen feels very different from chasing. You are not waiting passively. You are standing confidently. And when something is truly meant to choose you, it will not hesitate.